Frankfurt, Germany, 1744. A boy is born inside a walled ghetto. Jews confined by law. No land, no profession, no freedom of movement. His name is Mayer Amschel Rothschild. He will die having built the most powerful banking empire in the history of Europe. In a single generation, his 5 sons will establish banking houses in London, Paris, Frankfurt, Vienna, and Naples, connected by a private network faster than any government on earth. They will finance the British war against Napoleon. They will simultaneously loan money to Napoleonic France. Both sides, same family. This is the story of the House of Rothschild. The Judengasse, the Jews' lane, was a single narrow street in Frankfurt. 3,000 people behind locked gates sealed every night and on Christian holidays. Mayer Amschel was born here in 1744. When his parents died of smallpox, he was 12 years old. He was sent to a rabbinical school in Fürth, then apprenticed at a banking firm in Hanover, where he learned currency exchange, foreign trade, and the movement of money. He returned to Frankfurt and opened a shop dealing in rare coins, and began cultivating the most important relationship of his life. Crown Prince Wilhelm of Hesse, one of the wealthiest rulers in the Holy Roman Empire. A man who hired out his own soldiers as mercenaries to foreign powers, including to the British during the American Revolution. For years, Mayer sold Wilhelm coins at below market prices. He wrote letters. He made himself indispensable. By 1769, court factor, official supplier to the prince. By the 1780s, managing a significant portion of Wilhelm's personal fortune. But Mayer wasn't thinking about one prince. He was thinking about a network. 5 sons, 5 cities, 5 banking houses, bound by something no competitor could replicate: family. Mayer Amschel had 10 children. 5 were sons. For those 5 sons, he conceived something no banking family had ever attempted. Each son would establish an independent house in a different European capital, operating autonomously, but sharing intelligence, capital, and loyalty through a private courier network no government could match. Amschel stayed in Frankfurt. Nathan, the most aggressive and gifted of the brothers, left for England in 1798. By 1809, he had founded N.M. Rothschild & Sons in the city of London. James established de Rothschild Frères in Paris in 1812. Salomon opened in Vienna in 1820. Karl established in Naples in 1821. 5 sons, 5 cities, 1 family writing to each other daily in private cipher, sharing intelligence no competitor could access. In 1822, the Austrian emperor elevated all 5 brothers to the nobility, barons of the Austrian Empire. Their coat of arms, a clenched fist holding 5 arrows. 1 arrow breaks easily. 5 bound together, unbreakable. Mayer Amschel Rothschild died September 19, 1812. He had started in a locked ghetto. He left behind the most sophisticated private banking network in European history. And the most consequential period in European history was just beginning. Between 1803 and 1815, every government in Europe needed money. Enormous, desperate amounts of it. The Rothschild network was built for exactly this moment. From 1813 to 1815, the family financed the British war effort, shipping bullion to Wellington's army in Portugal and Spain, arranging British financial subsidies to continental allies, moving gold across Napoleon's blockade through a network of agents no other institution could replicate. Nathan was commissioned specifically because the British government had already failed to build such a network itself. Nathan called it the best business I ever did. But while Nathan funded Britain, James in Paris was simultaneously lending to the French government. The Rothschild network spanned the battle lines. While armies fought across Europe, the 5 brothers coordinated financial flows on both sides, not partisans of any nation, the infrastructure upon which all nations depended. By 1820, they held irreplaceable positions in the sovereign finance of every major European power, and the wars gave them something more valuable than money. When Napoleon invaded Hesse in 1806, Crown Prince Wilhelm fled into exile and entrusted his vast fortune to the Rothschilds for safekeeping. Nathan invested it in British securities. When Wilhelm returned, the money had grown. Word spread through the courts of Europe. There was no safer place for money than the House of Rothschild. Napoleon met Wellington. The Rothschild private courier network delivered news of Wellington's victory to Nathan in London a full day ahead of the British government's official messengers. Nathan used that information. He purchased British government bonds in the days that followed. Historian Niall Ferguson, given unprecedented access to the Rothschild archives, found the profits modest. The family had anticipated a long campaign. Existing war positions had generated losses that Waterloo gains only partially offset. What Waterloo confirmed was more valuable than any trade. The Rothschild network was the fastest private intelligence system in the world. Every government in Europe knew it. And every government in Europe now wanted the Rothschilds on their side. After Waterloo, they expanded. By 1825, N.M. Rothschild and Sons supplied enough coin to the Bank of England itself to avert a national liquidity crisis. The Bank of England, bailed out by a private family bank. In 1818, Nathan arranged a £5 million loan to Prussia, one of the largest sovereign loans in European history. James financed the construction of railways across France. Salomon built the first major railway on the European continent. The Rothschilds didn't just move money, they built the arteries through which the 19th century economy flowed. In 1875, Prime Minister Disraeli needed £4 million in 24 hours to purchase Egypt's interest in the Suez Canal before a rival bid arrived. He went to Lionel de Rothschild. Lionel asked what security the government would offer. The reply, the British government. Lionel ate a grape and said, "Done. £4 million, 24 hours, no paperwork." In 1869, Alfred de Rothschild became a director of the Bank of England, a post he held for 20 years. In 1858, Lionel de Rothschild became the first Jewish member of the British Parliament. After being elected 4 times and refused his seat each time for refusing to swear on a Christian Bible. On the 4th occasion, Parliament changed the oath. In 1885, Natty Rothschild became the first Jewish peer, Lord Rothschild, elevated to the House of Lords. From the Judengasse, where Jews were locked inside at night, to the House of Lords, in 4 generations. The story of the House of Rothschild is one of the most extraordinary in the history of money. A boy locked inside a walled ghetto who built a pan-European banking empire in a single generation. 5 sons, 5 cities, wars financed on both sides, railways built, a canal purchased in 24 hours, a Bank of England bailed out, a parliament entered, a peerage earned. The private courier network that gave the Rothschilds their edge. Agents, shippers, messengers moving faster than any government, inspired other banking families to build their own transatlantic networks in the century that followed. One of those families would take the concept of financing both sides further than the Rothschilds ever had, not across battle lines between nations, from inside the governments of those nations. Paul Warburg, born in Hamburg, emigrated to America, intellectual architect of the Federal Reserve, vice chairman of the Federal Reserve Board from 1914. Max Warburg stayed in Hamburg, ran the family bank, financial advisor to the Kaiser, German War Council from 1914. 2 brothers, 2 nations, 1 war. And in 1919, at the Paris Peace Conference, the chief financial advisor of the American delegation looked across the table at the head of the German financial delegation. It was his brother. That is the next video. Subscribe to Vault and Ruin. We go where the money went.